Wach with me, Oloo Mbaka. In studio, we have Peter Solomon Gichira, who was once a presidential candidate but opted to bolt out. We want to know the reasons as to why he opted to bolt out, and we want to look at very many issues now that we are headed towards elections, which are coming in the next weeks. Karibu sana studio.
Asante sana.
Karibu sana, salimia watu wetu, waambie jina lako.
Good morning or good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Solomon Gichira. I have another name, Peter, which
Yes.
I don't usually use so much.
Yes.
I'm glad to be back at Oloo Studios.
Yes.
Always a pleasure to be with you, Jeff.
Thank you so much, Peter. Karibu sana. Peter, when we were here with you the last time, you were a presidential candidate. Right now, I understand you're not a presidential candidate anymore. You bolted out. What happened?
When I was here, let's say this, I was an aspirant, not
Yes.
really a candidate as such, because I was going through the motions of trying to get nomination from IBC.
Yeah.
And I was doing that because we had received some court orders to force IBC to nominate me, and they were given 36 hours.
Yes.
And they went and looked for other excuses not to nominate, and we went back to the courts.
They were given 36 hours to nominate you.
Yes, and they went and looked for other reasons
Yes.
to say why I could not be nominated. And so I went back again to the court.
Did they give you the reasons?
Yes, they gave us the reasons.
Are you willing to share?
Yes.
Okay.
It's in the
Go
public
ahead.
domain. They said that I had not met the requirement for the 2,000 signatures in 24 counties,
2,000 signatures in 24 counties.
in each of the 24 counties.
Did you have?
I actually had more than that in each of the counties.
You had more.
I had more than that. They gave us a tabulation,
Yeah.
a schedule tabulating how our signatures fared in their system. So they started giving us counties where we couldn't. I understand how they say we got signatures from those places because we only visited 24 counties.
24 counties.
But for them, they gave us a list with more than 48 counties, including the prisons, of course. And they said it's only one county, Nairobi, where we had met the 2,000 numbers, required signatures. And they said we had a number of 2,800 and something signatures.
Yes.
But from our side,
Yeah.
Nairobi, we knew we had only 2,400. So we started wondering where did the extra 400 come from?
Yes.
And in other counties where we knew we had met that mark and exceeded it,
Yeah.
like a place like Bungoma, we had 2,900 signatures. Makueni, we had 2,700. They said we could not meet the 2,000 at all. In Makueni, we had actually 700 from their system.
Yes.
Now, the list they gave us, that schedule, had its own shortfalls. One, it was not on the letterhead of IBC.
So where did it come from?
It was passed to us by the chair during that when we presented our
By the
nomination.
chair, IBC.
Yes,
But it had no letterhead.
He went through all the documents
Yes.
we were presented from all the forms for nomination, our certificates, our IDs, everything was right. We even presented the check worth 200,000. And the lease for the office.
Yes.
We presented all that. He said our documents did not have a problem. The only problem we had was the list. And that was whispered to him by the deputy chair. And then they ordered somebody from behind there to bring a list. And that list was brought. And from that list, that is where they gave us that tabulation. That list was not on a letterhead of IBC. And of course, it was prepared before we arrived. Which means then, how do you prepare something?
Something must have happened.
And how do you prepare something as IBC
Yes.
to present to someone and it's not, you cannot see the authenticity of it. It's not on a letterhead, it is not stamped as IBC's, it is not signed anywhere.
That one simply means not an official letter. From IBC.
It wasn't anything official. And for us, we took that to be a mockery to the courts.
Yeah.
Because the courts had ordered that if they don't nominate us, they should
36 hours.
within 36 hours,
Yes.
they should give us written down reasons why they haven't done it.
Yeah.
And so with that, we said, no, this is a mockery of the courts. So we went back to the court, and this time round we filed a case on a contempt of court case against the chairman himself, chairman of IBC, Wafula Chebukati, in person. So once we did that, because we did that the following Monday, and that is where the frustrations now started from the courts, because we were sitting before Justice Odunga. Justice Odunga pulled out at the last minute of all the cases he had. He said they should be rescheduled because he was going to sit on the 3-judge bench listening to the NASA case about the presidential ballot. It was on a Friday. So that date that we had been given was moved. And so we had to look for another date. But the following day, the following Monday week, all judges went on recess for their colloquium in Mombasa. And so we couldn't get our case heard. We couldn't get a new date. When we got a new date, that was after a week in between. We got it again on a certain Friday. And so when we went there, Justice Odunga started giving us some reasons or some procedures that we should follow. And my lawyer felt that those were not the right procedures in law. And we didn't understand why he did that. But we felt like he had become a bit intimidated, because this was after the president and the deputy president made some pronouncements in regards to the case, the NASA case, and the judgment that was passed. And they particularly picked on Justice Odunga. And in particular, Honorable Raphael Tuju became a little bit too personal with the justice about his relationship with Honorable Orengo and all that. So we started feeling like Justice Odunga was a bit intimidated, and he did not want to be seen like he's becoming personal on IBC. And that is why he was giving us, because he told us to go and find a cause why Chebukati should not be committed to civil jail. From my lawyer's perspective, he thinks that should come after the court has already found that he was in contempt of court. So it was like a cart being put before the horse from our side. And so we realized that the judge was not willing to move on. He was trying to dismiss us in a very polite way, that we don't proceed with that case. And we read the mood, and we said, okay, even from my perspective, it would look now from the other side, truth be told, ethnically, I'm from the Kikuyu ethnic community, and the president having come out forthright like that, saying some people are out to frustrate IBC so that we do not have elections through the courts. On the other side, I started getting pressure that I'm also becoming part of the group that is trying to frustrate the election process. And so weighing that the judge is like not hesitant to move on, and here I'm starting to get pressure from this other side. I said maybe this is not going to work in my favor, and after all, days are getting fewer. I may not have time to campaign. So we consulted and we said, let us just drop the case for the time being. Maybe we can pick it after the elections. But we rested it. We are still reviewing it. But in terms of my nominations and candidature, we said maybe it's time we packed it somewhere in the shelf. We may collect it and dust it later and move on.
So what about the amount you paid to IBC? What happened in the event that now you disqualified yourself and you would pay them?
Okay, you know what happens actually, Jeff? They ask you to write for them a banker's check. And so then when they reject your candidature, they ask you to go back and cancel the check. So the same day when they rejected my nomination, I went back and I said, and we cancelled that fee that was to pay for them. But I need to say this is not just money I put somewhere to spend for IBC and all that. It is my money that I was committing to a process. And so after we made the decision that I'm not going to run, I looked around and I realized I still have debts that I need to pay.
Yes.
One of which is with the Higher Education Loans Board. And so that check of 200,000, which IBC refused,
you paid it.
I'm going to pay it to help. I've changed that check from IBC to help. And so I'll be clearing my loan. And I'll be clearing my loan with help, and I'll encourage Kenyans
so
who have loans to do it.
What's next for Solomon Peter Gichira, having been one of the people who maybe came out strongly to be a presidential candidate? What happens? Maybe in the event that after 2017 elections, which you are headed towards, what happens after that? Do you have any political ambitions come 2022, or you rest your case and now you remain as Peter Gichira as you are?
Okay, Jeff, let me say this. I did not get the opportunity to campaign the way I really wanted to campaign. And so most of the people who were backing me in this campaign were coming from a familiar background. And so when we said I'm not going to continue with this race,
yes,
I had the obligation to direct them, maybe to advise them on how to go about making their decisions on who to vote.
Yes.
And so I told them that I've pulled off from this race, but among the candidates who are there,
yes,
who have remained, I have a preferred candidate,
yes,
who is Uhuru Kenyatta.
You threw your weight behind Uhuru Kenyatta.
Yes, and so I threw my way through behind Uhuru Kenyatta, and I asked my supporters, as good as I would have wanted him to be, I think he can do better than he has done. But I just considered several things. One, that he's in office,
yes, and
that chances are very high that the incumbent would retain power. And two, I think he himself is not. I think he's forthright. He's honest. Not the clique around him, of course, a big one.
We're looking at the other side of the coin. When we were here the other time, you said both sides of the coin. When you're looking at NASA and you're looking at Jubilee, you tried painting them as a system of majambazi, all of them.
Course.
You said you don't really see an option for Kenyans. In fact, you did say that if Kenyans were to elect a president, it should be coming from the independent presidential candidates. Why now throw your weight behind Uhuru Kenyatta?
I'm just.
Or is this simply because of maybe we are coming from the same community as Uhuru Kenyatta, and now for me to be safe with the people, I have to be singing the same song?
Sure. There are several things at play here. One is just looking at the possibilities of the independents.
Yes.
At this point, even looking at the opinion polls, even the ones that came out the other day, even though they are controversial, the independents are not getting anywhere.
They're not getting anywhere.
They're not getting.
Today, you believe so?
They're not going very far. Okay, I think independents are just opening an opportunity for the future. But for this election,
so that's what you're trying to do.
For these elections,
before you opted out, you were just trying to open an opportunity for yourself, so that at least you could be known, you become popular.
No, not for the person, but for the country, to see as people who are not within the major political parties as also options that can lead this country somewhere. But now, trying to be realistic in terms of what is on the table, I think the president that we're going to have is going to come from NASA or Jubilee. Yes, the others are playing a little bit far behind. And so within those two, I try to consider two things. One is for lack of a better word, the lesser evil.
The lesser evil.
The lesser evil. And the lesser evil for me, I saw it.
Jubilee.
I saw it not Jubilee per se, but the president himself, the person.
So you want to separate Uhuru Kenyatta from the Jubilee government?
There's a backlog.
Because the driver. Once the driver is messing up, maybe the whole system is messed up.
Sure.
So let's see how you find it easy to separate the driver from the vehicle. You say the driver is good, but the vehicle is bad. I don't know how to put it.
You remember, Jeff, last time when I was here,
I
said political parties are not just political parties. They are about the individual.
They're about the individuals.
The individuals who are there.
Yes.
And so for me, Jubilee Party, though it's the machinery behind Uhuru Kenyatta, I think it has let him down, for sure, in many ways. Yet the person himself wishes this
So the
country.
people behind Uhuru Kenyatta has let him down.
Of
Uhuru
course.
Kenyatta himself is a good person.
I think he means what he says. He's honest and he's forthright.
So what do you think he should do? Maybe as a close friend of Uhuru Kenyatta, maybe you could give him an advice. What should he do? Should they wash away the people behind him who we are saying is making him to carry all the loads?
Okay, I'm not close to him, and I've never met him actually in person.
Never met.
We've never met, but I think he has to make that decision. If he has to have a legacy other than the SGR in terms of where he's taking this country to, he has to shed quite a backlog in that establishment. Both the political party and both the government. There are people, and for instance, we in the last few days we've been talking about one man called Wajigi.
Yes.
But for a very long time he's been part of that government. Why are we now why are we labeling him to be bad just because he's
a NASA?
Okay, how many of those are inside that system?
So many.
That is what he should get out. And I would also wish that they don't even get another home in the opposition. That they just get out there and they get frustrated and live private lives. Possibly they are followed in their corrupt issues and they are put in. Because even when you're talking about corruption, it is some very key persons who visit where power is.
Yeah.
They are they are drivers of corruption. And so if he's able to get rid of those ones, then things change. He should not, I think it's wrong when the president goes out and says, what do you want me to do in terms of corruption?
That one seems like he's defeated to perform
his duty
as the head of state.
A hopelessness.
He shouldn't tell us what should we what should I do as the president.
We are looking up to him.
He should give us the option. He should tell us we are taking this option A, B, C to fight corruption. Not telling us what should I do.
No.
And is the driver.
No. That is painting hopelessness and despair. And we are looking up to him to lead us and to get this to get rid of this for us. And I'm saying this. I've put my weight behind, but I'll be very critical.
What about some
matters?
About some key allies of yours who are the independent candidates? Because the last time you were here, you had that independent lobby group where the independents were really trying so much that they could even come together and maybe choose one of them to go and battle it out with Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. What are they feeling now that Peter Gichira has now supported Uhuru Kenyatta and left the independents alone?
Okay, I know there is a lot of frustration, and they feel that I've let them down, and that is warranted. But let me say this: the issue of the independents coming together, that was a bit of wishful thinking.
It was a wishful thinking.
Yes,
it was never to happen.
It was never to happen. We are very independent. We are very different in our thoughts. And even the way we want to drive our things is so different. The things that Solomon here is thinking and what Kuku is thinking are quite different. You need years to put them to put those minds together. Now putting Joe Nyaga, who comes with a feeling of entitlement, that we need to support him, not him supporting anyone else. I mean, it just doesn't take us anywhere far. Then there's Jeff Kaluyu, who comes in with a capitalist concept of me, myself, and I. So he doesn't feel like giving space to anyone else, and so it can't go anywhere. And I need to say this:
there is Wainaina.
There's also Wainaina. Wainaina, sure enough, I think my thinking and him are very close. But also he's coming from an academic background again, which is very theoretical, not really practical on the ground. So there are those issues which need somehow they can be brought together, but you need more time than.
So it was a wishful thinking. It was something that was never meant to.
It was never meant to.
We're going for a short break. Peter Gichira will be right back. This is Kuku Wach. Welcome, my viewer. This is the second bit of Kuku Wach. I'm Oloo Mbaka. We are with Solomon Peter Gichira, once a presidential candidate, but now he opted to bolt out for the reasons he's mentioned in the first part. Karibu sana, Peter.
Asante.
Moving forward, Peter, you say that you were frustrated by IBC and the courts, but some people could be thinking, was Solomon compromised with the one or two people, the people who have the powers? Could that be a reason why you are opting out just few days to the election?
Not really. I've never met anyone, and mine is it's just been practical, because I bolted out like 18 days or 20 days to the elections. It's just
a very short time.
Coming to realize,
having campaigned all alone.
Yes, but not having the nomination certificate from IBC. Because I kept on hanging in there, knowing that the courts will grant it to me.
Yes.
But now with the frustrations from the courts and time is lapsing, and IBC, of course, they have to wait until they get orders from the court. I just became practical and realized I don't have time. Even if I got the nomination at this late stage, my name will just be in the ballot for the sake of just being there. So I will not have had time to campaign the way I should have wanted to. And so that would be more of a PR exercise, trying to massage my ego and those of my followers that have seen me in the ballot paper, which is not what really I wanted. Yes, so compromised? No.
You're not compromised.
I've never even seen.
You just made a decision. There is this group you tried mentioning when you had a press briefing. You tried saying that there is some group of people who are trying to lobby the independent candidates with some cash, maybe to cripple other candidates' chances of winning. How true is that?
Okay, we cannot really put our fingers on it.
Yes.
So it's still something out there to be picked up. And but the thing is this: the feeling from the ground and the places where I visited, especially within central Kenya. One of I've been bashed a bit back at home. I've been asked, why am I running for this position? And the president, who is coming from the same background, is also running. Am I not, just the same question asked me, have I not been bought to spoil the chances for him? And so on the ground, that is the feeling that candidates, especially at the presidential level, they are not there just as candidates. They are there as spoilers of the 50+1 within the central.
They're there to spoil the 50+1.
Yes.
That's the thinking.
That is the thinking down there. And it is not just down there, it has moved to some levels. I met somebody who is a senior advisor of the president, and that is after we had already made our decision that we are going to withdraw from the race, and that actually we are going to back the president. But so I met him in a funeral service. For one of the last elders who passed away. And so he asked me, are you part of the team that has been getting support from NASA?
So NASA is the alleged supporting
system. So I told him, oh, there's money from NASA. And he told me, yeah. All these governors, the 7 governors who got direct nominations, each one of them got contributed 2 billion to a kitty in NASA that is aimed at spoiling the 50+1 for the president, and also spoiling for the president the majority of votes and majority of seats in parliament. And so they are backing both independent candidates at the presidential level and parliamentary and senatorial
so
level.
That we could have a runoff.
So that we could have a runoff. And if a runoff takes place, again, even when we form, the next government has been formed, that it's not able, even if we would won,
it's not stable.
That in parliament, you cannot just have the kind of power he had of passing things just anyhow.
And so, Peter, what do you think, going with the current opinion polls released, it's very eminent that we are going to have a runoff. Why don't you see that?
Okay, I don't know. From where I sit, I don't see it coming.
You don't see a runoff?
Yes.
You see one getting 50+1?
Yes, I'm seeing the president getting 50+1.
The president getting 50+1.
Yes, but with a very small margin, because this plays just to the 2013 scenario. We predicted the same things, and just come the day of the election, it never happened. It never happened, and I'm saying this because I know on the ground, if things were to go the way they should be, like in terms of registered voters, we could have a runoff. But I've realized on the ground, IBC has missed very many voters in places where I collected my signatures from. And we have very many voters who could have tilted that balance, the scales, who will not be voting on that day. Not because they did not want to. They are either not in the voter register, or their ID is not reflecting correctly, or the ID is shared by someone else somewhere else, and so they will not be allowed to vote on that day, or they've been pushed to a polling center that is so far away that they can't make it there. They can't make it there.
So you see a win in first round.
And with that, so many people will not vote. And apparently, the places where I've seen that is NASA-friendly places.
NASA-friendly places.
Yes. And
so therefore means we'll have first
so for me,
in favor of the president.
And so for me, NASA's backgrounds are shaky, and so they won't be able to raise the numbers they should.
The backgrounds are shaky.
Yes, but if that should be blamed on IBC. If IBC would have done its homework right, we would have another.
Is it something that was deliberately done by IBC? Which makes us to question the process, the credibility of the process.
That is why I've been hitting at the IBC. I think there's something more to it.
So even up to this point, you believe the process is not going to be fair?
It's not going to be fair. IBC would have had a better process if IBC had done the right things. Because I keep on saying this, when we have a list of dead voters in the register, whose work is that? It's not the auditor's work to come and remove those. It's not the work of Chebukati up here in the secretariat or anyone else at the secretariat. Down there at the constituency and at the county level, we have coordinators, county and constituency coordinators. That is what they should have done in the last 4 years, which they did not do. So you cannot count this last minute and say you shall clean.
You want to clean the register.
No.
And you had the 4 years from 2013.
That's the thing.
You haven't cleaned the register. 20 days too, you're talking of cleaning the register.
Yes.
So you see the process is going to be compromised.
And let me say this. Personally, I had an issue with the county coordinator for Makueni. I went there when I was collecting my signatures, and he was trying to block me from doing it. Now, later, we are coming to realize that some of the people I collected their signatures from, they are not going to be voting. And so I don't know what this was that he was trying to do around there. And maybe I think he was feeling that by my coming in there, being an outsider, and coming to collect signatures from there, and actually in person, I would be able to identify those discrepancies and bring them out and raise them up. And so he was transferred during that transfer. I think now he's in Kiambu, but he has left a mess in Makueni. And that is going to make people not vote. Yet, he will not be held accountable because he's not the person in Makueni right now.
He's in Kiambu.
He's in Kiambu. And so even that transferring of coordinators and all that, I think
at this time,
it's a bit very late. It also brings up questions.
So do you think IBC is ready for the election?
No, still. IBC is
They're not ready.
It's still not ready.
So what should happen? Postpone the election, so we just go to the election and say, okay, the process is compromised, but we have to have it.
And I think, tragically, I think that is the route we are taking.
We are just going for the elections.
We are just going for the elections.
Irrespective of whether the process is compromised or not.
Whether we crash or not,
we are just going.
We are going. And the courts just said it the other day that like elections are cast on a stone, that date is cast on a stone.
So we have to go.
So we have to go, but the effects of that is what now some of us are scared about. Going into a process that you feel it's already muddied, and then we have questions raised, and then we have problems. No answers. And let me say this: I met somebody who was a senior officer of IBC before a commissioner before this commission, and they are also worried. They're worried, and they're not worried because they were thrown out there. They're actually very happy that that burden was taken off their shoulders.
They're happy that the burden was taken off their shoulders.
Yes, for them that was a very big burden. But now they are looking.
So they still believe it's a heavy call to be on that commission.
Yes, a very heavy one. But looking with hindsight, that they've been there before. They're saying 2013 they were better prepared than what we have in now.
What you have today.
Then,
so therefore means the
2013 we had questions being raised about the credibility of those elections. How about
so the future is uncertain?
It's very uncertain.
Peter, moving forward, the sparks between NASA presidential candidate Raila Odinga and Internal Security Acting Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i when adopt a polling station. What do you think?
Adopt a polling station. I think I think NASA was just clever enough to do what it never did in 2013. What ODM did, what CORE did not.
So adopting a polling station is a plus for NASA.
I think that was a very wise strategy because it's an issue of safeguarding their votes, and actually they won't just be safeguarding their votes, everyone's votes, because when they are counted out there, it's everybody who's being called. And so I think that was a strategy that they did not have in the last elections. And they wisely realized where they had the reins bait them at, and so they wanted to seal that gap.
So do you think there is any problem with the adopt a polling station system?
I don't know why the CS is having a problem with that. Okay, I may not have the details how NASA wants to go about this. Is it who is adopting it? Is it the voter?
Not the voter.
Is it the agents?
NASA is a coalition with the very many political parties. So they have ANC, they have WIPA, they have CCM. So every party should be sending an agent to the polling station. And
that's part of the election
requirements.
Jeff, agents are part of the election officials in a polling station. And if it's the ones who are safeguarding that process, that is given to them by law. So if while the CS is against that, then it raises a bit of suspicion. Do you have something more than it? Because agents, even Jubilee will be having agents. They should also adopt a polling station. If I was running, I would also have agents. They should also. And that is
a good cause.
We should actually put that in the constitution.
And why are we finding a problem with it?
Just because it is coming from the wrong quarters, I think so.
The wrong quarter?
Yes, from the opposition. If it was coming from Jubilee, I'm sure the CS would be supporting
that. Is that fair?
Which it's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. But that's the truth of the matter. Sometimes things are looked at from the lens of where they are coming from, and because for sure, like I said, that was a very clever strategy from NASA.
Adopt a polling station.
Yes. And the issue is why do you want to? These guys have not been very, very supportive of anything clever that you've had in the last 4 years. So why should we give it to them at this last minute? I think that is the politics that is being played around.
So it's political now.
That's just political.
There is no problem with the course of adopting a polling station.
No.
It's just politics getting in.
Because you see, when the courts agreed that announcement of like the presidential
will be done at the constituency level.
Be done at the constituency level. If the courts can, if we are going down to that level, and this is the thing, our election process should be foolproof. And if adopting a polling station is part of that,
let it be.
Yes.
So we should not have a problem.
No. We should give actually NASA a pat in the back.
A pat in the back. Yes. You say it's a good cause.
That's a good cause.
It's worth it.
I'm supportive of it. We should have it even in 2022.
In 2022. Yes. So on 2022, where are you heading to? Or it's too early?
Not really. I think in 2022 I'll be in the ballot.
The ballot. Presidential?
Yes. This time around I'll do my things early enough. So that IBC does not have any reasons why.
Why they lock you out?
Why they lock me out?
So 2022 you will still be up.
You know, I keep telling Kenyans this. You know, somebody asked me, why did you want to go for that?
Yes.
I have now.
Is it not too big?
I have an experience that I didn't have before. I've learned my lessons.
Yes.
And I wish everybody just vied for a position at whatever level. They'll be clever and wiser than they were before. I'm wiser now. And so I start my thing very early, and I know where to check to what. I'll be doing my checks very early. And for instance, let me say this. I've already bought, for instance, the voter register.
Yes.
And I'm going to keep it. Those are strategies of preparing myself for the next elections. So when I present my votes, my signatures, and they say these people are not part of the voter register,
yes,
I want to know.
You'll have the register.
Yes,
with you.
I'll have the register.
Yes.
Okay, it's the 2017 register with me. We shall have a 2022.
Yes.
I want to know, is this person dead, or is this
so
person?
You compare the notes.
Did you get him out of?
Yes. Gichira, your last word to your people, the Wanyonge. Ulisema wewe ni mtetezi wa Wanyonge. Your last word to the Wanyonge now that you opted to support Uhuru Kenyatta and you've abandoned your bid.
Let me just say this: the journey is not yet over. It's not over until it is over. Wanyonges are here, and we've just been practical in terms of what can be out there for us. We shall continue with the fight, but from where I sit, I think we could vote the president for another 5-year term and see what he can do for us within those years. But still, I think you are at liberty to look at the candidate who best represents your interest at where you are and support them. Don't be gagged by a political party or anything like that. Just make your choice wisely and go and vote. On the 8th August, go out. Don't remain at home. Don't remain at home. It is important for you to cast that vote.
Make your choice wisely, as Peter Gichira puts it. Thank you so much, Peter, for creating time for us. We hope and believe that if we do call you for another interview, you'll avail yourself and come so that we can talk to our people and let them know what's happening as we move towards the general election.
And this time round, I want to be a general commentator.
A general commentator?
Yes.
That's very okay.
Thank you.
Welcome. From me in studio, Oloo TV, Peter Solomon Gichira, Wach. Kwaherini.